Welcome, my nerd brothers and sisters, to the Nerdgazim Hour podcast. I'm your host, Travis Jones. What's going on, guys? Huge week for me. Since we didn't have a show last week, I was in Mexico with my wife. We were doing a little vacationing. So when I got back this week, I went and got books for 2 weeks. So what we're going to do is, I didn't get to all the books that I got for the last 2 weeks, so we're just going to go review the books that I did get. I've got a Marvel Collector's Core box that I'm going to open on the show, and I have a Loot Crate box that I'm going to show you what I got inside it as well. But first, I want to start the show off by thanking everybody for joining in on YouTube. I'm not doing Periscope tonight. My cell phone battery was about to die, so I couldn't start my Periscope, but it is something that I like to do. The show usually starts at 6:30 live Eastern Standard Time on Friday night. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please join in on the Periscope app. I love doing it, and I want it to be a big part of the show down the road. So please remember that I'm on Periscope as well. But first, I want to give some shout-outs to some Facebook groups that I'm associated with. The first one is Comic Jacked on Facebook. If you like comic books, this is the place to be. We talk about games and movies too, but it's mainly about comic books. You can post a question if you're new to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or you're new to just comic books in general. There's a lot of stuff going on with DC and Batman and Batman versus Superman and all that stuff. If you've got questions, you can just get on there and troll the page, man. You'll learn a lot. Post a question. You're going to get a bunch of people that know what they're talking about to answer you. And there might even be some debate, which is always real fun. So that's a great site. Comic Jacked on Facebook. Another great site is the Marvelites. It's a Marvel Cinematic Universe news hub, basically. I mean, they post stuff that I haven't even seen yet, and I get alerts on my phone. I'm like, golly, how do y'all get this stuff so fast? But those guys are great. I've had people that have went to the movies and didn't really know what was going on, and I've introduced them to the Marvelite site, and they get on there, and just from trolling the page for a couple days, they're like, holy crap, that answers that question I had in Age of Ultron or in Ant-Man or in Guardians. So that's a great site to check out, guys, or I say site, Facebook page. So that's the Marvelites. Please get on there and check those guys out. And what I want to start the show off with after the shout-outs was Derby City Comic-Con was not this past weekend, the weekend before last. Me and a couple buddies went. Had a great time. We actually ended up leaving, eating lunch, and then coming back for several hours. If you've never been to a Comic-Con, even a local one like this one, it's getting bigger every year. I think this is the 4th year for the Louisville one. They're a lot of fun. A lot of the creators, they like talking to people. They love you. They love it when you come up and go, man, this is some really cool stuff. The one thing that I did get that I wanted to show everybody on the show is I got this, I don't know if you can see it right there. Here we go. It's the Batman action figure, and it's the Thrasher suit. I'm trying to get the light right where you can see where it says Thrasher suit. But this is a suit that Batman wore when he went to save Damian in Apocalypse. This is the suit that he wore. And this thing is heavy, man. Like, for an action figure, I haven't taken it out of the box yet because, I'm a geek like that. But it's really heavy. I want to break it out so bad, but I'm not going to. But what was even cooler is the guy that sculpts these figures. His name's Jonathan Matthews. He sculpts all the figures for this DC line, the Greg Capullo line. He was a super cool dude. When you bought it, he even offered to autograph it, and you can't really see it, but I got his autograph right here on the box. So thank you, Jonathan. It's awesome looking, and you were cool to talk to. But that's a lot of fun, man, to go look for back issues. You can find some great deals, and it's a little bit like Mexico where not every price is set. You know what I'm saying? So I bought a couple other things, got the price down on it. But they're a good time. I want to go to more. So, and maybe, hopefully, in the future, I can get some video and add that to the show as well. But that was a great time. Can't wait for next year. I believe we're going to Cincinnati as well. So when that comes around, I'll be sure to let you guys know and tell you what's happening. But let's get to the books this week. All right, here we go. Future Imperfect number 2. Letting the light get right on that. Okay, you got the Maestro and Ben, or well, you think it's Ben Grimm, but the Thing are battling it out, which is pretty cool. And I tell you, the first issue really kind of had me hooked. I love Greg Land. Greg Land's artwork is amazing. Peter David writes the Hulk like nobody knows. So this issue is basically the origin story of Maestro, and you think it's Ben Grimm as the Thing, but it's not. It's Thaddeus Ross. Thunderbolt Ross is Ben Grimm in this. So it kind of takes the origin story of the Fantastic Four and makes it their own. Now remember, this is Battle World stuff, guys, for people that's just tuning in, that's never seen the show. The Marvel Universe has collapsed. The multiverse has collapsed in the Marvel Universe. So you've got 616, which is the universe that we know, and we have 1610, which is the Ultimate Universe. All the other multiverses have collapsed. So Dr. Doom has created a world called Battle World, and it's the remnants of all these multiverses that have survived, that he's managed to basically puzzle and smash together to create a cohesive world. So in this world, the Maestro, the Hulk, is a sadistic bastard. He's killed several heroes. He rules with an iron fist. And Thaddeus Ross, who's the Thing because of a cosmic ray accident, he's kind of the resistance. And as we find out in this book, he may not be the good guy. He may be just as bad as the Maestro. But I'm going to tell you, great fight scene. If you buy comic books for fight scenes, this is a great comic book. Greg Land really kills it in this issue. It's a bloody fight. And at the end, there's a little bit of switch. And that's what I'm saying, that, you know, the Thing may not be our good guy here. I don't know who our good guy is yet. So Future Imperfect number 2, it was okay. If it wasn't for the fight scene, it would have sucked, to be honest. The first one was really good. It had a rich story in it, a little bit of action. This one was mainly action. So I'm hoping in issue 3 we get a little more story, we get a little more character development. So, but I'm hanging in there. I trust Peter David, and like I said, I love Greg Land. So on to the next book this week. Red Skull, number 1. Okay. Me being a big Captain America fan, I had to check out Red Skull number 1. What's this all about? Well, basically, to sum this book up, without giving any spoilers away, this is where it gets tricky. Crossbones has been issued a task to get some people together, and I say people, I mean basically villains. Some were heroes, some we don't know who they are from, because they come from alternate dimensions now. To get a group up, kind of like a Dirty Dozen or Suicide Squad, and go look for the Red Skull. Now, the Red Skull, we find out, had tried to take over Doom's throne. He challenged Doom. Doom had him exiled, past the shield. Now, we all know the shield is the wall that protects you from the zombies, and we end up finding out later, there's a place called Perfect that is outside the shield wall that's ran by Ultron robots. So when we have that coming up next, the Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies, that's the next book we get to review. But so Crossbones is gathering up heroes, and he has Electro, Magneto, Hobgoblin, Bucky Barnes, who we find out has volunteered because him and the Skull have unfinished business, to go out past the shield wall in the zombie land, basically, and look for the Red Skull. They want to bring his body back and to show people that the Red Skull is actually dead, because his name, he's kind of like a martyr now. He's a symbol of resistance against Doom, and Doom can't stand it. So that's basically where the book is. They gather them up. They throw them up past the wall. I don't want to tell you, but there's some bloodshed. And there's, out of everybody that was formed, it looks like one guy survives. So, and I don't want to tell you who saved him, past the wall, but it looked like he was going down too. And then this guy shows up, saves him, and kind of interested where the story goes from here. The artwork was okay. The story was okay, but the artwork really kind of turned me off. I'm usually not like that. I'm usually not that critical, but could be interesting. Okay, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what's happening with Skull #1. All right, the next book is Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies. There's the cover right there. Got an Ultron head on it with a bunch of zombies in the background. Now, basically, this is Tigra is thrown out past the wall. That's how the book starts. She's kind of loving it. She's on the hunt again. She's trying to survive. She realizes they may have done her a favor by throwing her outside the wall. She's fighting some zombies. Then the Ultron robots show up. And then it's just like this huge battle. Now, evidently, there's a providence, and I haven't looked this up on my Battle World map yet. I got to refer to it all the time because there's so many providences and domains. But Hank Pym is from a place called Timely. Now, you've got this guy. He's got this little bow tie thing, string bow tie on. He's got this old-timey hat. He's definitely a man from a different time period. He was exiled past the shield wall because he was making basically a robot called the Clockwork Man. Well, they didn't understand why they exiled him out past the wall. But they were like, look, we can take you to the zombie part or we can take you to perfect. And he's like, well, what's perfect? And they tell him. And he's like, yeah, I'll take that. So he really didn't know what he was getting into, but he just knew that it sounded like robots. He's obviously into robots. It's Hank Pym, remember? And not only does he run into some robots, but he runs into some zombies first. And looks like good old boy Hank Pym's going down, and he is saved by, I don't want to say who, but it's some classic Avengers. And they're basically like, hey, man, we've been waiting on you. So I have no idea where this is going at all. It was okay. Again, the artwork kind of was so-so. It was okay for me. The premise is really neat. I'm curious to see where the story goes with this old-timey Hank Pym. Like, he's the Clockwork Man. You know, it's like he's far removed from the creator that made Ultron. So I don't know where this is going at all. But again, let's wait and see how this story progresses as well. Now, when I say wait and see, what I'm meaning is, and I probably should say this in the beginning of the show, forgive me, I'm on some muscle relaxers and stuff, and I'm not quite where my head's usually at. But, you know, I wanted this show to help people that want to start buying comic books, or they're scared to go to a comic shop for the first time and they don't know what to buy. That's what I want this show to do. I buy comic books every week. Some of them I wish I hadn't have. Some of them I'm like, that was pretty cool. And then 4 or 5 issues in, it's not worth it to me anymore. I'm just giving you my opinion. It may be, you may hear like, ooh, old timey Hank Pym. That sounds kind of cool. I might try that. Well, good. That's what I want. But you might be the kind of guy that goes, old timey Hank Pym, that sounds fucking stupid. I'm not buying that shit. That's what I want also. I want to give you little bits and nuggets of things. You might dig it. You might not. So that's kind of why I'm saying let's wait and see. It may not be worth your money yet, but as the story goes, it may get better. I'm probably going to buy it anyway, so let me be your guinea pig, basically. Okay, now, moving on. The Ultimate End #3. Now, I read a comic review on this book, and it was pretty poor. And I was like, oh, man, that sucks. Then I read it. Not so poor. Basically, it is, in a nutshell, Ultimate Universe, our Marvel Universe. It's Manhattan. Boom. We got 2 Tony Starks. Well, we had 2 Hawkeyes. Spoiler alert. The original Hawkeye don't make it out of first issue. Imagine that Hawkeye getting killed. But it's kind of a conglomeration. Nick Fury is the ultimate Nick Fury, the black Nick Fury, the guy that, you know, they kind of patterned Samuel Jackson after. So he's in charge of this era, this domain. And now he's got these 616 Marvel people saying, hey, man, this isn't right. We got to do something. He's like, no, hold on. this is how the world is. This is my ship. This is my place. This is what you're going to do. Well, at the end of the last issue, Dr. Banner, Marvel Universe Dr. Banner, threw another Hulk into the raft. Several people, the raft is a superhuman prison facility for superhumans, obviously. And a bunch of people escaped. A bunch of people died. So Fury's pissed. Fury has Banner subdued, and they got him holding him prisoner. And Tony Stark's like, nah, that's my friend. You get him down. I need him to figure this out. And Fury's like, no, dude, he's a prisoner now. He's broken the law. And the whole time, Banner's kind of out of it. I'm not sure what that is to do with. I think this issue, it's moving the story along, and I think that's what the reviewer meant when he thought it was sucked, is they're maybe moving along too slowly. But it was a pretty good brawl between the Hulk and them, and it's got potential. And I think this book may have a big reasoning down the line when Battleworld either stops or they figure stuff out. I don't know, but I'm staying with it. Again, let's wait and see on this book. There were several books. Let's wait and see. Probably my biggest disappointment of the week is this. I don't know if you can see there or not. Planet Hulk. Now, if you all remember, Planet Hulk #1 was my Nerdgazim pick of the week. So excited for Planet Hulk. Okay, let me set the premise for you. Captain America, Steve Rogers, is a gladiator. He's fighting in the Doom pits, okay, like a gladiatorial arena. And he has a fucking pet T-Rex named Devil. And it's like his boy, they're together, they fight together, they ride together, they're going to die together. So, I mean, what more do you need to know? Now, Doom has, through Doctor Strange, gave Steve Rogers a job. Go into the Hulk wasteland, kill him, you get your freedom, and you can save your partner Bucky Barnes, because that's the deal I gave him, and he hasn't returned. So Rogers is like, I'm in. So he goes to the Hulk wasteland, and he's supposed to meet Doom's emissary. Doom had somebody on the inside. Well, lo and behold, it's Doc Green. Okay, now this Doc Green looks a little bit different than the 616 Doc Green. And this is a different Steve Rogers, too. This Steve Rogers is very, he talks a lot different, but he's still Steve Rogers. Like, hey, you didn't have to kill that thing, but you did anyway. And there's a scene where Doc Green, Steve Rogers is asleep, and Doc Green is like dissecting this animal. And like the animal's still alive and it's screaming and everything. And Steve's pissed. He's like, no, man, this ain't how things are done. You don't do this. So that guy was basically like, look, man, you're in a gamma irradiated wasteland. It is like this. So different ideologies at stake here. And then basically they're trying to get to a certain spot, and this wasteland, being what it is wrought with peril and villains, not really villains, but creatures, irradiated creatures. So, we leave them, they're going off a waterfall, and we're trying to wait to see what happens next week. And there was a brief flashback in this that gives you some insight on where Steve and Bucky were at in their relationship before, I guess, Doom took over, or their past timeline. I'm not sure. It was a little choppy. The action was so-so. Wasn't enough Cap and Devil for me. But I'm staying with it. I love the first issue so much, and let's hope the future issues are even better. Now we're going to switch gears. We're going to kind of get out of Battle Wolf for a minute, and I want to talk about this. This was one of my favorite books this week. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's The Midnighter. Okay, now The Midnighter was part of the Authority. This is a DC book. When he was with the Authority, it was Wildstorm. DC bought Wildstorm and all that crap. But basically, he's a very I don't even know how to describe Midnighter. He's a madman. He's a psychopath. He's a killer. He's a badass. He's a romancer. He's a badass dude, man. I love it. Just a simple fact is it's a very, very violent book, But the way that they're trying to reintroduce Midnighter into the DC universe, they're trying to give him some legs. He's never had a backstory before. Well, they're giving him one. He's never had an origin story. He just freaking showed up and started kicking people in the ass. So basically, he was created in a place called the Garden. And the Garden is this secret place that basically creates like unique weapons. And someone has broken into the Garden, and the person that actually helped train or create Midnighter, they attacked this person. They stole a bunch of weapons from the Garden, and they're out on the run. Well, there's a chick who was wronged by a corporation. She reached out to these people that had the weapons from the Garden, and she got this ability to say these words. There's 6 words, and the words all mean pretty much certain death for you. So she's going through this corporation that ended up killing a loved one of hers, and then basically paying out of court. No one went to jail. It was wrong. She's out for revenge, and she's going around spitting these words out at people, and they're just, and their heads are blowing up and stuff. And I mean, it was pretty awesome. So Midnighter finds out about it. He takes off. He's going to stop her. Well, she puts a beating on Midnighter, which doesn't happen often. So Midnighter, being genetically engineered super being, has an accelerated healing factor and all that shit. He basically can take it, but he's been a bad way. And then he realizes, he's like, so words are her weapon. Well, okay. So he basically, and it didn't really show it, but I don't know if he punches his ears or pulls his ears off of his head. So he can't hear the words. If he can't hear the words, she can't hurt him. So he's got these huge holes in the side of his head, and he's still trucking on going to get her. And he does get her. But it's not what you think. He's sympathetic to her plight, but he's like, you did it for the right reasons, but you're doing it the wrong way. Because there were some innocent people getting hurt, and Midnighter ain't about that, but he's all about punishing the guilty. Let's call him a hardcore Batman. Like, if Batman didn't give a shit about, breaking your neck, be Midnighter. And he likes dudes. Who knew, right? No. But Midnighter there is a very, I don't want to say they dwell on the romance side of it, but Midnighter's going on dates, and he's trying to be smooth criminal to these guys. And, so it's not a book for everybody. But if you can get past all that stuff, it is part of the character. It's kind of a breath of fresh air, and the artwork is really, really good. I think the writing's really, really good. It's paced well to where you're like, holy crap. And then the next thing you know, he's having a drink with a friend, and then boom, he's back at it again. So it's paced really well. I'm really liking it. It's only the 2nd issue. Really like what DC's doing with this. So Midnighter #2, pretty good book. All right, now. The Legacy of Luther Strode. Now, I don't know if y'all read the legend of Luther Strode or not, but Thad Moore, Justin Jordan writes, Trad Moore does the artwork. Trad Moore's artwork is insane. If you've never seen it, it's graphic, it's gritty, it's the use of his line work and stuff is just something that you don't see in comic books. It's very, very violent, very graphic. It's pretty cool. Luther Strode is this super being, and I can't say a lot about the book because I don't want to give things away, but it's just a lot of action. If you like action and you like, some snarky humor, cause his sidekick, she's kind of snarky, give it a read. Go back and read The Legend of Luther Strode. Get the trade. It's a great trade to have. You'll love it, and it may lead you into the legacy. I dig it. I think it's great. I don't know what they're doing yet, but the action and the pace of the book keeps me. Every week I see the comic shop, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Legacy of Luther Strode. So give it a look. See if you like it. All right, now, the best book all week. May have been from last week. I'm not sure. The best book I read this week. How about that? and it's going to be a huge shock to my listeners. Secret Wars number 4. Check that cover out. Asad Rabik is the man. Doom sitting on the Yggdrasil, the tree. And I'm sorry, that cover was by Alex Ross. I knew it as soon as I looked at it. I was like, that's not Asad Rabik, it's Alex Ross. Alex Ross's covers are freaking beautiful, man. But Asad Rabik, yes, you are still the man. No, I didn't get off the crazy train. You are the man. The artwork in this book is amazing. If you buy one comic book this week, make it Secret Wars. I'm not even going to go, I can't even really give you a synopsis of what happens because so much happens in this book. There's so many spoilers. I do not want to take a chance on spoiling it. But what I can tell you is that from the last issue, we realized that Doctor Strange has had a vehicle that he probably knew that Reed Richards, Black Panther, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, Star-Lord, Peter Quill, all these people, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, they were all in this ship. He released them. And basically Strange is giving him the lowdown. Look, this is what happened. Doom is God. Doom is the one that has created this. He's the one that's holding it together. I merely help him, and he's good at it. Well, you know, Reed don't like it. No one likes it. And Carol has a great line going, you really freak me out when you talk like that. Like, what are you saying? You know, your Doom is God and he's good at it? What the hell, Strange? What are you smoking? So, that's kind of where this book starts, mind you. And then you got the whole Cabal thing where the Thor Corps show up and are taking on the Cabal. And that's kind of even in the background while everything else is going on. So, and you got Black Swan shooting eye rays out. When did that happen? When did she get that ability? I must have missed something. But, here's the line by Carol. She's like, okay, when you talk like that, you sound insane, right? Love Carol, man. She's awesome. But, so, like I said, there's so much that goes on. Doom is worried, and that doesn't bode well for anybody. But Doom is worried because he finds out that Strange has let these people out, and he knows how they are. They're going to try to fix things, and that cannot happen. So, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Scott Summers had a Phoenix egg. And what happened was he now possesses the power of the Phoenix. So basically, Doom's on this rant about how this is how it's going to be, guys. This is the world. I am the end-all, be-all MacDaddy. Summers, being a huge dick, is like, no, you're not. Summers has the power of the Phoenix. So he's puffed up, big as a peacock. Doesn't go well for him. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. And then there's another big incident that happens at the end of the book. But artwork, Jason Aaron, probably right now with all the people that just left Marvel, and I'm going to talk about that right after I get done with the book reviews, he's the man. He might have been the man before. He's definitely the man now. So, Jason Aaron, please keep doing what you're doing. Brother, I don't know where Marvel is going to go without you. So you, Michael Bendis, you gotta stay strong, brother. But you're doing it here on Secret Wars. Love this issue. It's a great issue, and best $4 you'll spend. So Nerdgazim pick of the week, Secret Wars number 4. Great book. Great. No big surprises. So get it and read it before someone ruins it for you. All right, now. I want to talk about the writers that have left, and I've got them. I got a little snippet here, and I'm gonna read it to you. This was off of IGN. It said, "We knew this was coming, but it still doesn't lessen the blow of seeing a Marvel landscape without writers Rick Remender, Kelly Sue McConaughey, Karen Gillan, Matt Fraction, and Jonathan Hickman. Those names aren't just some of the biggest at Marvel, but in the entire comic book industry. So to lose them definitely knocks Marvel's prestige down a notch. Not to say that there aren't some great writers still among their line, Jason Aaron, Michael Bendis. But if you add up the years of writing experience and acclaimed stories between everyone who left, it's a big loss indeed. Very well said. That's the reason I read it. I usually don't read stuff on the show, but I thought that was excellent. I mean, Rick Remender, Jonathan Hickman, their run on Avengers was, I mean, groundbreaking. I'm at a loss for words. I'm hurt. I'm sad because these guys are they're great creators, great storytellers. I know they're going to go on and do stuff. I know Remender's he's working on more of his original stuff like Black Science and whatnot. I do have some of those issues. I've not read them, but I'm going to try to work them in the podcast because Rick Remender needs not be forgotten. Because even though he's not going to do mainstream books, you still need to keep him on your radar because he's a great storyteller. So let's hope that Marvel can stay strong. All right, now I have a couple of boxes I wanted to show you all. This is my Loot Crate box. Okay, got it in the mail. And it is the cyber-themed box. And in it, you have a half-scale endoskull. Showing that it's a Terminator. It's not a bobblehead. It's just like it's a skull sculpture of a mini scale of a Terminator head. It's pretty cool looking. I ain't gonna lie. It's pretty neat. And then you've got this I thought was really cool, and it's probably not going to look well on film, but you see that? It looks like one of the chips, one of the processing chips that go in the brain of the Terminator. It is a jump drive for your computer. It's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty neat. And yeah, this is kind of cheesy, but it's a little bag. You can see it's got little circuitry boards on it and stuff. I don't know what I'd use that for, but I'm probably not going to use it, to be honest. And then you have the cyber button, of course. You got this little pinup. That's a pin. And then inside you have you got a couple of puzzles, and it kind of tells you what's in your box. It's got a interview by Zachary Levi, who's ultra big nerd. It came with a Optimus Prime shirt. The graphic was okay, I'll be honest. The shirts that I've been getting in Loot Crate have been phenomenal. I love them. My Dungeons & Dragons shirt the week before, and I got a Voltron shirt a couple weeks ago. I got, for the Spy one, I got a shirt that looks like the Bond symbol, and in the middle it's got a kid and he's crying, and it said stirred, not shaken, which I thought was kind of funny, but it's kind of corny. But otherwise, this Loot Crate was okay. The shirt was a disappointment for me, so that's what kind of led me to be disappointed. The skull is okay, but I mean, I don't even know how much I paid for this thing, but it's I don't know. Not too impressed with you, Loot Crate. Sorry, you've been good, so I'm gonna hang with you. But this box wasn't the best box I got this week. Let's put it that way. Now, the best box I got this week was, no surprise, but Marvel's Collector Core, the Ant-Man box. All right, so I got a Ant-Man shirt in the box, and what's cool about it is it says Ant-Man like in the movie logo right here, and then like right underneath it, it's this little bitty Ant-Man, and it says actual size in parentheses. So I thought that was pretty cool, pretty neat little trick. And with it, you get the exclusive bobblehead of Ant-Man. Okay, and there's a Yellow Jacket one too. But what's cool about this one is, and you can't see him because he's so small, but there's a little Ant-Man in here with him too. So that's actual size, and then there's a little one in here. So I thought that was really cool, and he's in his little Ant-Man costume. So that was pretty neat. I'm not, big a bobblehead collector, but the exclusive ones I think are really cool. So, and then I got these, and I don't know what they are. I haven't opened them yet because, like I said, I'm a nerd. I don't open stuff. But they're the bobblehead vinyls. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, the Funko Avengers, and I think there's a 1 in 4 chance you get Ant-Man Yellow Jacket, and then you get another like variant Ant-Man costume, and then Scott Lang. You get a Scott Lang one with the no helmet on. So I got 2. I don't know which ones they are. We could open one up though, couldn't we? Yeah, it's my show. We do what the hell we want to do. Let's open one up. See which one we got here. We probably get the most common one, I'd say. Oh, he's in a little bag even. Never opened one before. This is video exclusive right here. Uh-oh. And it's Scott Lang. Yay, Scott Lang. See? Say hi, Scott. Do you see him right there? What you talking about, Willis? All right, that was stupid. All right, but that's got the Scott Lang one in there. All right, he's going back in the box. Okay, and what else? I told you about the shirt, and then you get you get a collector's core pin. It's got an Ant-Man head on it, and then you get this patch. It's Ant-Man head again. It says collector's core, and it's a little patch. And then you get a variant. You see that? It's Ant-Man variant number 5, I believe. Is it 5? Yeah, around 5? Yeah, 5. Variant edition. It's a Marvel Collector Core variant, so it's the only place you can get it. And it's pretty cool. It's if I see it on the shelves, I wouldn't spend any extra cash for it. But getting in the box is cool. So the Collector Core box was pretty neat. I liked it. So that is it for the books this week, guys. But I want to pose a question to everybody. If you are one of the people that have never been or haven't been to a comic shop ever or in a long time, I want to ask yourself why and why not. If you're watching this show, if you're watching or listening to this cast, then you're into this. You like this stuff. But when's the last time you've been into a comic shop? There's all kinds of stuff to do at a comic book shop. You can go. They've got dollar bins. They've got figures. They've got action figures. Some shops are better than others, of course. Go to a con. A con, you can kind of walk around and not even be seen by anybody unless you're cosplaying, which is like dressing up like a cartoon character or your favorite superhero. You can go into a con, pay $10, walk around. There's good deals. No one will really hassle you. You'll see some sights. And you might have a good time, especially if you've got kids. They're probably watching movies and into this. So if you haven't been to your local comic shop, ask yourself why. And hopefully watching this show, I can get you enthused about going and seeing some of this stuff. It's one of my favorite things I do each week. I love it. It's so much fun for me. I go in and I get to see what's came out this week. And some weeks I'm disappointed. I'll be honest. This past week, I went for Secret Wars. Nothing I really read was like, man, that's awesome. But Secret Wars was awesome. So, again, that's the reason it's the Nerdgazim Pick of the Week, because it was so good. Now, I've got some other books downstairs that I haven't got to yet, and I'm sure I might have a special show since I'm kind of playing catch-up on the week. But I might have a show this Wednesday, which is Comic Book Day. Not Free Comic Book Day, but like when the new books hit the shelves. For people that don't know, Wednesdays are the days that the new comic books hit the comic book shelves. So that's when I'm usually at the comic book shop, unless I'm at work, and then I go on Thursday and get the books. But like I said, it's one of the things I look forward to. I did as a kid, and I do as an adult. So ask yourself why. Get out to your comic book shop. Check it out. And another thing you may want to check into is some games, some mobile games that are out there right now, and that's what I'm going to talk about for a second. Marvel's Avengers Alliance is a game that I play religiously every day. Last week we were in Mexico. We had free Wi-Fi, and I was constantly just checking in to get my bonuses that day, so I didn't have to start over on the 5-day bonus thing. If you play Avengers Alliance, you know what I'm talking about. But it's a fun game. It's free to play, but a lot of the good stuff, sometimes you do have to spend some gold, do have to spend some real money on. I'm not a wallet warrior by no means. That's what they call people that spend a lot of money on the game, but I have bought things before. So it's cool. Check it out. It's a hard game to get into, but if you give yourself enough time, you can really enjoy the experience. And I've got another podcast I'll shout out real quick about that from the Helicarrier, Golden Age Ibit, and Epic Boss McFall and Soapbox Klotz. Those guys have really helped me, especially when I was first starting, to enjoy my experience more, because it's not an easy game for beginners, but they do so much stuff. Like they had a Spec Ops, a whole mission list for Age of Ultron. They did it for Thor the Dark World. Anytime a movie comes out, they do this Spec Ops thing. You either get an alternate costume or a new character. Or this past character was Miles Morales, and the Lockbox character was Superior Spider-Man. So if you're a Spider-Man fan, this was a great Spec Ops for you. The Ant-Man Spec Ops is coming because the movie's going to be released. So we can expect an Ant-Man variant costume. PvP just started. It's player versus player tournament, and that's a big thing for me. I love that aspect. So, and some people don't even play it, but the rewards and everything are so nice, it's hard not to. But like I said, it's a tough game to get into, but give it a shot. If you like comic books and you like superheroes and you like Marvel stuff as much as I do, you're going to like it. You're going to get into it. So just be warned. I warned you. It could be a very guilty pleasure. So, but check out From the Helicarrier. Those guys are great. They're very knowledgeable. They'll take your questions. Anytime I've ever tweeted them or Facebooked them, they've answered me back. So I appreciate that, guys. The reason I shout out to you now. But check that out. And there's a debate going on right now in gaming as far as paying to play and free play games. And this is what I mean. Stay with me. Like I'm in a couple of groups for the Marvel Avengers Alliance, and you see a lot of people upset when they feel like they have to pay to get extra gear, or they had to get stuff where they can't get it for free in the game. They feel like that's wrong somehow. I don't feel that way. If the game doesn't make money somehow, there won't be a game. So you can make fun of people that buy gold and buy stuff in the game and call them wallet warriors, whatever you want. If it wasn't for wallet warriors, you wouldn't have a fucking game to play, because no game can sustain itself on free players. Okay, now, that being said, I'm in a game. I just started a game called Destiny, which some of y'all may have heard of. I've talked before about it on the show. Well, there's a big controversy now from the creators of Bungie and BioWare, because they're saying that they're releasing a new game coming out. It's an expansion pack basically for Destiny. It's going to be $20. Now you can buy the collector's edition for $40 and get some extra stuff. It's not even really clear like what kind of weapons and stuff you'll get yet, but they're going to be exotic weapons, which are hard to get. And a lot of people are pissed off because they're like, wait a minute, why do I have to rebuy a bunch of content that I've already bought before? And what I'm saying is like, I own Destiny now. When The Fallen King comes out, September 13th, September 15th, whatever that Tuesday is, if I want this special stuff with the bundle, I have to rebuy the game. So it's going to cost me $60. Or I can just buy the new expansion pack with the Fallen King missions and all that stuff for $20 as a download. Now, people are upset about this. And what I find funny is when I first started playing Destiny, I had crap guns, I had crap armor, I was getting wasted. I had friends that got me into playing they're way higher level than me. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's like, hey, man, where can I buy some good armor? Where can I buy a better gun? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I know you can buy shit. And they're like, no, you get it by playing. And I was like, really? And so it kind of shocked me that there was no buying anything. There was no option to buy an exotic weapon. You have to play, and when I mean play, you got to play, because it's a random drop. It's a random generator drop, and got people that are playing Marvel Alliance, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're not guaranteed to get it at all. There's some people that have been playing Destiny since the inception, since Xbox One came out, because it was a launch game for Xbox One, that don't have a Gallahorn, which evidently is a very rare weapon. I play with a guy that has 3, and he got another one the other night playing. So it's a random drop, but he plays all the time. So my point is that this game, Destiny, has done very, very well for itself. There is no buying into it. Now, there are expansion packs like the Wolves one, and there was another expansion pack that came out. There were 2 different expansion packs that were like $15. And basically all it was more maps and missions. That's all it was. You didn't get gear. You didn't get armor. And that's the big thing in this game, leveling your guy up. When you get so far, you have to have certain types of light armor to level your guy up. So it's a different ideology, and I think it's funny that all these people are mad at Bungie because they're making them rebuy to get these emotes, the exotic weapons, and some I think they're called shaders, which changes your armor color. Not a big deal, right? It's all cosmetic stuff for the most part, other than the exotics, but people are mad. And I'm like, wow, they wouldn't last a day playing Avengers Alliance, you know? But I think it's, I just posed the question because, you know, the game manufacturers, they're in it to make money. And evidently Destiny, even though they don't have an in-game purchase system like Marvel's Avengers Alliance, they do pretty damn well. They had a great expo at E3. You know, they have a huge following. They have 9 million players that play Destiny. And the game, like I said, is almost 2 years old. So that, I think that's saying something. But Avengers Alliance, to its credit, and I know I'm going on about this a lot longer than I thought I would, but Avengers Alliance was not meant to be around this long. Avengers Alliance was meant to promote the first Avengers movie. So they've done pretty well too. They found a niche, a demographic, a community that supports them. And they've done some, that's a whole other show, and I'll leave it to the helicarrier guys. They do it better than I do. But they've done some shady things to the players in the past. And that's what I think is so funny about the uproar from the fans to Bungie about this Destiny expansion pack. They've issued an apology. They said they were going to change some things. I mean, they're listening to the community. So, and I think that's a sign of a great company. And we all know Bungie is. I mean, they created Halo. BioWare created the Mass Effect games. So, I mean, they know what they're doing. But I think Marvel's Avengers Alliance needs to follow suit and say, hey, we need to listen to the community more. But that was just my little rant on the video game world. I thought it was really, really strange. You know, you got this big console game over here that you pay $60 for, and you get all these missions, all this playability, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And then, you know, you got Marvel Avengers Alliance, which is this mobile game, and the graphics are not stellar. They're cool for a mobile game, but they're not stellar. And it's like the good stuff you pretty much got to buy. Or you can farm, which, you know, I have a full-time job. I have a wife. I have other things I like to do. I can't spend 6 to 8 hours a day. I don't want to spend 6 to 8 hours a day playing a game to be able to buy some of the stuff. So what I do is okay, there's a gold sale. There's $25. There's $50. I get my gold and I buy the stuff. So I save time. But so just different worlds, a different way to look at things. You know, the big console world, the mobile game world. So, we do talk about some game stuff on this show, and I just thought that was on my mind today, and I knew the books that I had, the reviews were going to be short on. So, all right, guys, that's basically all I got for this week. Again, there might be an extra show coming this week on Wednesday, just so I can get caught up a little bit, and maybe we can have some more talk about video games and maybe some more movie news. Hopefully some movie news will drop this week. I'm pretty excited about some things, but I want to save it for the next show. But, guys, thank you. If you made it this far, you're family to me. Thank you. I love you. Tell your friends about the Nerdgazim Hour. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, the Nerdgazim Hour, Gazim. Please check me out. Give me a subscribe. Give me a like. Leave me some feedback. Tell me what you want to see on the show. Tell me what you thought about the reviews. And you never know, I might just pull it up and talk about it on the air. That's kind of what I want to do. So, but I need feedback. I need content. I need questions. And I also do the Periscope. I didn't do it this week, but next week, Friday, for show, we're going to be on Periscope. So get your questions ready. Get you a 6-pack of beer. Put it on your laptop. Put it on your iPads. Kick back, drink some beers with me. We'll talk about Nerdgazim Hour. It'll be fun. So, all right, guys, until the next show, I'll see you later, and thank you.